I had a job at the library, and they have a collection called Cookery and Culture, and it's these old cookbooks, and some of them are also medical books, just from, I think the earliest ones from the 1600s. And it was really interesting to read people's viewpoints, especially on medicine and health from that time, and especially the idea that illness is a result of sin. There was one book that I can't quote it exactly, but it said something like, dear reader, I hope that you never have to use this book, because if you do, then that means you've led a sinful life, and that's horrible. And, God's punishing you, but we'll try to ease his punishment as much as possible. And I realized that in my public health related classes, we talked a lot about things like obesity or diabetes, kind of the same way they talked about, illnesses that were a result of sin in these books. And so what I really want to do is compare how people viewed illness as a result of sin back in the early 19th century. That's what I narrowed it down to. And then compare that to how we view things like, diabetes, stroke, obesity, and so that we can better understand and be aware of maybe our own biases as people and treat people better. So, I don't know, it's just interesting to see, for this project specifically, how people are the same as we were 100 years ago, but also, now we back our beliefs with science most of the time, not always, but it's interesting to see that we bring evidence from like research articles now than it was you support every claim you make about whatever health thing you're talking about with the Bible. So it's really the same, and both were considered equally true now and then. So yes, I have always been really nervous approaching teachers. My high school kind of had an authoritarian culture where you don't approach teachers unless you have like facts to back up every single statement you're going to make and a list of 10 things you did before you ask them a question. And I found Utah State is not that way at all. Every teacher or professor I've reached out to has been amazingly helpful, whether or not I'd done research before talking to them. But I found it, and I still find it really hard to say I need help with this if I haven't spent, 2 weeks trying to figure it out on my own. And that's something I'm working on. And it's also been hard for me to know exactly how to write things and realize that it's okay to mess up on my process. I don't have to do everything right the first time, and that's what my mentor is there to help me with, is knowing what to do. And to just kindly say, you did it wrong, but here's the right way to do it, and it's okay. Yes, I'm hoping to get a master's in genetic counseling. And with that, I hope to do research. Something that genetic counselors can do that I really love is that they can do research for like 3 days a week and then meet patients for 2 of the days a week. And it's very flexible. You can do more or less research as you want, as long as you find a company or a hospital that will support you in doing that. I would say don't be afraid to reach out to anyone at the university. Every time I've asked for help or went somewhere looking for resources, I found that whoever I've talked to has just been incredibly supportive and helpful, and they'll give me their email and say to email them anytime. And it's been so nice that there's really support anywhere you look for. And I think that's the most important thing, is talk to your teachers, talk to all the student services people that you can, because everyone really is there to help you. And that's great.